All right, this is just to show what I've got going on here with the sequencer, so I don't forget in the next setup. I got my Ethernet cable coming out of the back here of my module. Got about 30-foot sections rolled up, and then I've got each individual cue coming out of here, so it's 4 for the 4 strands. My first one is the green and white. So my positive is white, my neutral or ground is green coming in, and then my sequencer is connected to a voltage regulator. This particular one has a potentiometer on it that I can adjust, and the problem I was having was this was finicky with the voltage setup from out of the box. So I had to use a multimeter, connect it to it, and adjust the voltage up. I didn't realize that. I was just playing with the screwdriver, cranking it as far one way and back the other. And in turn, I wasn't hitting the correct voltage. So I got this soldered for voltage in positive is the white, voltage in negative is the solid, voltage out solid, voltage negative out, I should say, is solid, voltage out positive is the white. And what I found is it doesn't matter downstream of the regulator if you plug the white or the orange into either pin. It doesn't make any difference if it's going to fire or not. If I can get it in there. Wire's a little bit crooked. Okay. So you can see I got continuity in here, and in my Firefly, what you'll see here is you've got selection for E-match, so I always turn that on. And just to show this, I go to manual fire, select the first cue, swipe to fire, and then I will fire. And you can see all the cues went. I had it just set for 1/10 of a second across each 12 cues on the sequencer, and it works just fine. But if you were to switch these coming in here, it won't work. So if I were to switch my solid and my white, it looks like it's going to go. But then when I go to fire it, you'll see nothing happened here. And that's because it's important that you have the proper polarity, I believe it is, from your Firefly to the voltage regulator. And when you have that set up, it won't matter because it'll just fire. And then to prove it, I'll switch it back again on here. And we'll fire, and it works. So it's important to set up the voltage on this potentiometer to get an output of, what I put this to is like 11.5, because the sequencer demands at least 6 to 36 volts to trigger it. So if you don't have that, it's not going to trigger. So you want to make sure that you've got correct polarity from your Firefly cue to the voltage regulator, and then adjust your potentiometer to be at least 6 volts to 36 volts coming in here. And then which way you plug these from the output into the sequencer input won't matter. All right, and we're back. So one thing I wanted to point out here is if you do purchase these little voltage regulators, I got these on Amazon. I can share with anybody the information for these specific ones if they're interested. It was like roughly $10 for 5 of them, so pretty inexpensive. But one thing that I ran into when setting these up is that this potentiometer on it, this little screw right here, gold screw, you have to really finesse that to get it to work appropriately for this voltage regulator. So I'll show you what I mean by that. You kind of have to turn it back in a counterclockwise rotation until it starts to show up on the voltmeter as your voltage that you're looking for. So if you see right now, it's showing 3.537 volts, but that's not actually correct. And the problem with that is when you go to connect this to the sequencer and try to fire it on your Firefly, it won't actually do anything. So what you need to do is turn the potentiometer until you start to see the voltmeter moving, and it takes a lot of turns, at least for the batch of voltage regulators that I received. It's a very small screw too, so it's hard to get the screwdriver to stay. So right now we're showing 0.4, if that'll stay on there, or 4.13. So let's keep turning it now. So you can see now it's going up, and I'm still rotating in a counterclockwise fashion. So now we're at 5, 6, 7. I'm running LiPos, so, and they're 3-cell batteries. So I like to be matching similar to what the batteries are. It's just maybe an ADHD thing for me, but I'm trying to stick it around 11.5. 11.4, 11.5, close enough. So now what you'll see is this will actually trigger the sequencer when I fire it, because it's got the correct voltage, and you just saw the lines go across, or the lights go across. So now I've got this other one here as an example that I have not adjusted yet, and I'll take this one off so I don't confuse the two. This one's all set up now. Set that aside. This one right here, I'll show you at first. If I connect it to my voltmeter, same thing. It's reading 3.523 volts. It's not going to fire. I'll plug it in here just to prove it. And it doesn't matter. I've already tested this. It doesn't matter which way you have these connected on here. It does matter upstream of the voltage regulator. You have to have correct polarity, but down here you don't have to. So now if I go and try to fire that cue, it won't actually fire it. But now, if I take this off and reconnect my voltmeter, and I turn counterclockwise, like I said, it takes quite a few turns. You'll see it start to adjust eventually. There it goes. Okay, slow down. We're at 7, 8, 9, 11. One a little bit past at 14. Bring it down around 11.5. Bring it up. It's a little finicky. These don't take much of a rotation to get it to adjust. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now I'll disconnect the voltmeter. I will reconnect the cue. I will fire the cue. And there you see it went. I can fire it again and again, and it just keeps working. So that's key if you were to go this route and want to do a sequencer off of your Firefly system. if you want to do this with these little potentiometers and the PyroCreations 12Q sequencer, you're going to have to pick these up from Amazon. And you're going to have to play with the potentiometer. And like I said, turning them in a clockwise rotation. So turning this way. Keep going. And then you'll have to go back to a clockwise rotation to bring it up to the voltage. That's what I had to do anyways. And that resolved my issue. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this or found it useful. Thanks.